Hello friends, this is Otz. Normally I wouldn't talk to you about my personal life, but this video has become pretty much personal. Let me tell you a story. This story started it started like 2 hours ago. Somebody asked me on Discord if I would ever publish gameplay of my trapper. Now, I am a renowned trapper main. I am the best trapper in my building block, at least. So they were interested in seeing how I play it. And yeah, I decided to record a couple games. And funnily enough, after checking the gameplay, my microphone, it wasn't plugged in. So there was no audio. All the live commentary was botched. So I picked this game, which was the second one, because I thought it was quite instructive. And I did a post commentary. And even though the mic was on this time, it didn't get picked up by Shadowplay, so I had to do that. I had to commentate a third time. And then I commentated a third time, but then the local fucking band started playing drums right outside my window. And yeah, long story short, this is the fourth time I'm doing this. I pretty much memorized every frame of this footage. Thank you. That was my ranting. Let's get on to it. I'm playing at rank reset. These three girls joined together, so we're playing against one survive with friends and one single dude. This made me change my perks a little bit. As you see, I'm running no add-ons. I will explain what that implies in a second. But yeah, Spirit Fury and Enduring, it kind of defeats the purpose if everybody's going to know that I have Spirit Fury. They're going to drop pallets early. So I decided to get rid of Spirit Fury and I went for something playful and fun. So instead of Spirit Fury, I went for the new perk called, what was it? Mad Grit. Just in case they tried to body block on my way to the hook. These perks are a little bit unconventional. Yeah, I'll go into more detail in a second. Let me tell you what I think about the Trapper. The Trapper is one of the weaker killers. His power has a lot of counters, but man, he's very, very fun to play. He is a killer that gets his strengths through the middle of the match. You're not going to have a lot of pressure early on. You're not going to have a lot of pressure later on. So one of my favorite perks on him is Save the Best for Last. Enduring is also great. Helps with Decisive and all the bad stuff. So Enduring and Save the Best for Last, I'll run those two pretty often. Anything else, I will switch it up from time to time. But anyway, we know that we're playing against a group of three. And I'm running no add-ons. This has some really bad implications for my gameplay. First of all, I can only carry one trap at a time. And I only start with one trap at the start of the match. That's it. This is pretty bad. It means that if I have a trap in my hand and I want to pick up one that's been triggered, I can't do it. I need to put the one on my hand elsewhere and then go back and pick it up. I need to be very, very efficient with my traps early on. And that's what I'm going to try to go for. I'm still going to set up a little bit because I like playing that way. But I need to understand that without Ruin, without a lot of traps on my hand, I'm going to have to be very efficient. And in general, as a trapper, I'm going to give up a lot of pressure early on. Like, completely give it up. Survivors will be doing gens very quickly. But we will prepare the grounds for the middle game. And hopefully there we'll catch them. Immediately, I'm going to go to the shack. The shack sometimes holds the basement, which is it's always something that I play around. This particular shack didn't have the basement, but it didn't matter. This is still a place that survivors will come to, and I need to get rid of one of my traps as quickly as possible so I can pick another one. So I'm going to put a trap right here. This is one of my quiet traps. I think of traps I think of them as in two different groups. The quiet and the obvious ones. The obvious ones are like in vaults, they're in pallets, they're like in places where survivors expect them and where they're gonna get rid of them if they see them. But this is a quiet one. This is one in grass in a spot that's a little bit less predictable. I'm gonna put it down and immediately pick up another trap. I check for the basement, no basement. Pick another trap. And I'm gonna start eyeing the next place where I'll put it down. As I patrol generators, I will try to put down some traps. Now, I noticed that this part of the map is kind of favorable. I see an LT shape structure right ahead with a generator. I anticipate that someone will go from that generator to the shack or the other way around. So I'm going to try to figure out the path to it and put a trap right here. This also lets me pick up the second trap. And I'm already eyeing the next place where I'm going to put it at. And here, this is a very centralized loop that I'm about to run at some point, because this is a very small map. I don't want to put it on the pallet, because that would be obvious. Instead, we're going to put it on the grass, and I figured that this was the best spot. Not too close, just enough to catch them. Now, I'm going to pick up that trap, and now I need to start applying pressure. So I'm going to go check on the generators. And right about now, generator's done. If you don't like seeing this, you might not like playing as a trapper. But anyway, I need to find a person, get them off generators, and corral them into the area that I've created. Notice that I go to the right. I know someone's here. They haven't had time to run out. I don't see scratch marks. I go to the right and then immediately switch to the left. This buys me a few seconds, makes sure that I can get an early hit. Unfortunately, this is my obsession. I do not want to hit my obsession too many times because I have saved the best for last. Save the best for last is a perk that will make my hitting animation much, much quicker through the middle game if I build up stacks. But that only happens if I don't hit my obsession and instead hit other people. So we're going to let the obsession go. The first chance we get, I'm going to let her go and focus on someone else. When I let her go, play with your food, which is a silly perk that I was running, will proc right about now. And I'll get 5% extra speed. If I could pick up that trap on the ground, that would be great. But I can't do that right now. She didn't drop the pallet, which was smart. And luckily, she's going to the half of the map that I've already begun to prepare. This is 2 minutes into the game. I could have tried to put a trap to stop this loop, but I didn't want to do that. That trap is not meant to catch her right now. It's meant to catch someone going in and out of this loop towards the shack. So she's not going to fall for that one. But she did fall for a simple mind game. The Sadell heart, I was waiting for it. And she goes down. Now, where I place this Meg is extremely important. You will notice that it's been 2 minutes, 15 seconds roughly, and 3 generators are already done. If I don't play my cards perfectly, this game is over. I will not hook her here. Instead, I will go for the shack. Because that's the corner where all my traps are enveloping. That's the corner that all my traps are like geared towards. Now, I know that this mech is one player of a 3-man group. So this is what I'm about to do. Knowing this, I'm going to put a trap that's really obvious right here. Right about this time, she will be calling out this trap, but will hopefully not notice the other one that I placed earlier right on that grass patch. She did not see me put this one down, so it will make it all the more powerful. But for now, we need to figure out who's coming to help and catch them. Looking around, seeing if anybody's coming for the save. And I missed the scratch marks early on. As you can see, that person was going for the save. I did not see them. And I was completely lost. But I did get my stack of play with your food. And sure enough, I found them. And here is one of the most instructive things you will see in this video. If I chase them from here to the hook, they would go past my traps. My very obvious traps. And they would never, ever fall for them. I will never catch them in time. I want to corral them into the traps. So what I start doing is take a left and try to run them into them. It. Now this Claudette makes a pretty dumb mistake. She tries to touch this trap. This is excellent for me. I know exactly what she's going to do after I get close. And you can probably get an idea too. I pick it up. And just like that, I have 2 stacks of play with your food. And because I didn't actually attack her, I keep my stacks of save the best for last. I'm going to put another trap around here to completely nullify this building. This one here is pretty obvious, but it serves its purpose. The obvious traps do serve a purpose, but you must be close to them. Why do you must be close to them? There's a few reasons. You should be close to all of your traps, but especially so for the ones that are obvious. If you're close, this means that you will initiate chase and people will be looking at you and not the trap. So they might run into them accidentally. And also, they won't be able to disarm them right away because you'll be close. You'll be able to apply pressure. But you'll get an example soon. So we've made an exchange for the hook. We still have some traps a little bit far. I'm going to try to... This one there is fine. This one, even though it got disarmed, we didn't get a notification. That's a new glitch. You don't hear the snap anymore. I need to pick it up. I completely give up on that guy. Chasing him would be a mistake. If I chased him, he would take me to a great area where he would loop me forever, and I would be going far away from the area, from the perimeter that I've set up. So instead, I pick up the trap, and I go right back. Now, we know that this shack is pretty much off limits. So they're gonna have to work around it. And this is where save the best for last helps a little bit. Thanks to the slightly faster animation, they will never be able to get away from your perimeter quite as easily. Now, we know that this mech has dead hearts, so we're waiting for it. Luckily, she does it too early, does it into the corner of the pallet, so all I need to do is do a quick swing right here and she's done. And you can probably guess where I'm going to place her. All generators are done except for one. But luckily I've chosen an area, well, not quite luckily, but rather I've chosen an area where I can have an eye on the last 3 generators. And that's what we're going to start to do right now. I'm going to make sure no one's here. That's Jeff. Unfortunately, he doesn't walk into the trap that we prepped, but that's fine. Eventually he will. It's a good trap, we just need to trust it. Now, this loop would have been a bad place to trap early on, because it's obvious. But now that we're right around here, no one's going to be able to touch it. So we put that trap down. Start regressing this generator. And start figuring out where the next person going for the save will be. So save the best for last punishes this mistake greatly. You see that she tried to go for the save, but then was undecided. And with the quick sweeping animation, we can catch up to her very quickly. And right about this time, somebody fell for that trap. It would be very nice if we could go and grab that person who's on the trap, but unfortunately they got off on their first attempt. Actually, I don't believe they got off on their first attempt. I think somebody helped them. You'll see in a minute. Because now I see both of them. Who do you think I should chase in this situation? We've got one person on the left hooked, one person behind me on the ground, the injured Claudette, which seems like an easy target, and the healthy Jeff. Who would you go for? Give it a minute. It's very obvious that I need to go for Jeff. If I go for Claudette, Jeff will go for the unhook and the team will pick itself up. Instead, I need to focus on Jeff because he's running to a place where all my traps are very, very present. Whereas the Claudette, who is injured, is not going to be able to make any amazing play. So we're going after the Jeff. Right around this time, he realizes that he's not going to be able to outrun me. And tries to go around this loop. He is looking at me and not at the ground. And that's why he falls for the most obvious trap in the world. This is when you want to keep traps close to each other and close to yourself. Especially the obvious one. I tried to eye the Claudette, but she did something pretty smart. She went straight for the save. And this Claudette has Dead Hard, and Dead Hard survivors have a resource against your traps, especially the obvious ones, which is this one. To Dead Hard right through them. Now, you can't do this, but that's completely fine. Because I've put the other one right there, she has literally nowhere to go. On one door, there's the trap, on another one, there's a trap, and then there's the window. And she does not know that the window's not trapped. So right now, to her, she probably feels like she's trapped here, which she is. I thought she would panic out of the window, but she didn't. But that's fine. Now we'll go through the window, and she's locked in here with me. Now there's one mech left. If we can down her, the game will be over. Save the best for last helps in these clutch situations. I anticipated the Dead Heart, launched through it, got her at the end. One more mech to go. As soon as we find her and down her, the game will be over. She really can't loop me around this short side, so I'm just very happy to build Bloodlust and eventually down her. Very smart bait. I fell right for it, but then I was smart enough to body block. And when she would have taken the fatal hit, she actually used Dead Heart. Very, very smart. I did not think she would have it. She picked up Jeff, but that was not good enough. And eventually she's going to go down. And the moment she does it, the game will be over, provided that nobody else has Unbreakable. The generator messed with me a little bit there, but eventually it's just gonna go down. And just like that, a game where in 2 minutes 3 generators were done and no one had been hooked yet completely fell apart. This is the strength of the Trapper. Playing the Trapper is a bit of a gamble. And just like in poker, you need to know your hands, you need to know what you're dealing with. You need a little bit of luck, sure, but predicting your opponent is what it's at. That's the one thing that you can get better and better at. Predicting survivor paths, putting traps that will hurt survivors when they least need that punishment is what makes the Trapper strong. And it's what saved this game. These guys were a good sport about it. I don't think I ever found the last one, but that's fine. I think, yeah, in my original gameplay, I spent this time talking about what just happened. It was a pretty exciting game. And the second one that I recorded. But coming out of this, I hope that if you remember anything, it is that A, you should pick one spot to trap. This spot should be around the basement, if possible, or around the good structure, a corner of the map. Somewhere where you can patrol at least 3 gens to keep some pressure up, ideally. And once you pick this location, try not to be bullied out of it. You want to remain in this location, and you want to remain close to your traps. I cannot stress enough how important it is to stay close to your traps. If you want to pause the video right now, let's do it. You'll notice that I only trap 1/2 of the map, or you could even argue that it's only 1/3 of the map. That's what you want to do as a trapper. If you spread your traps all over the map, even if survivors completely lose it and keep stepping on every single one of them, you're not gonna have time to go around, pick them up, reset them. You're just not gonna have time. Not to mention that survivors will get off the trap on their first or second attempt, or they'll be held by someone else, like we saw earlier. Keep your traps close to yourself, keep your traps close to each other, and you'll find a lot more success playing the Trapper. Now, if you've got any questions or requests, I would love to hear them in the comments, and maybe the next time I record a gameplay, I'll do the commentary live, or do it in post, whatever you prefer, and I'll try to satisfy your demands. That was all for this episode of whatever I'm going to be calling this series. Thank you so much for watching, and Soren, the person that requested this gameplay, I hope that this was instructive in some way. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and it's the 4th time I record this, and I'm so fucking mad. Thank you so much for watching.